हेलो गाइस, कैसे हैं आप लोग। सो गाइस, मैं आज अपने सिड भैया के साथ हूँ और भैया फर्स्ट टाइम मेरी कार ड्राइव कर रहे हैं। सो उनका ड्राइविंग एक्सपीरियंस और फर्स्ट इंप्रेशन देखते हैं कैसा है। सो आओ भाई, पूछते हैं भैया से।
So I'm driving this A class diesel A200 CDI 2.2 liter. Stock was about 136 horsepower from the company. So this car I think ये remap हुई है, and it has a customized twin exhaust. And
What?
as Shavi bhai is saying, it's a remap, so makes about I think 180 odd
200
horsepower. 200.
200
So it makes 200 horsepower, and basically this is a previous generation A class based on the MFA chassis. So basically the MFA chassis had A class, B class, CLA, GLA, and of course their AMG version. So this is the entry level diesel model that came into India. This came in white, red, this green was also there, this grey was also there, right? So this is a front wheel drive Mercedes-Benz. You can see it has a traditional MB20cc audio plus paddle shifters, and this is a very well appointed interior. The SLS inspired AC vents. That time it was a design highlight on all the entry level Mercs as well as the SLS, right? So basically it's got a very nice pull, as you can notice, and the diesels are known for their pulls. That is very nice pull. This car, when it came to India, it was detuned. It was severely detuned rather. The petrol had a 1.6 liter, and I think to keep the price in check, they had detuned this car. But then going on sport mode again, it's an easy game for it. It's a very easy game for it. Brakes are decent. Dynamics, okay, so obviously engine sounds a bit gruffy, but that's almost, the car has almost done 97,800 plus kilometers. Still it has that good pull, you notice. Steering weighs up nicely. It's a speed sensitive electric assist steering. It just weigh a bit nicely, though it needs a bit of the correction whenever you see the geometry. The geometry is decent, but then somewhat people accustomed to driving rear wheel drive Mercs who need to have some kind of differentiation. Some assertion is there almost. Pull is clear, cleanly pulls. It's a pretty direct steering. Obviously, not many the rivals, they didn't have much of the entry level front drive cars. There was only an A3 sedan, and a long time back by that the old 1 series was a rear wheel drive any day. Obviously those who drove the older 1 series on the 1180, that does have a much better steering along with the 8-speed Steptronic. So I think this has a simple 7-speed
7G Tronic
7-speed torque converter. 7G Tronic
DCT. This unit is DCT.
This is a torque converter.
Okay.
The G-Tronic was always a torque converter. The DCT was only came on the AMGs.
Okay.
This is a torque converter gearbox.
Okay भैया.
7G Tronic, 8G Tronic, 9G Tronic जितने भी थे, they were all torque converter gearbox. I think the tune really makes out the maximum out of this engine. So if you can see, proper launch, it can do 100 in about 7-ish, 7 to 8-ish. I'm not launching it heavy just to be easy on the car. But aggressive driving, we can do it 7 to 8 seconds. Simple launch, 8.5, 9. Very aggressive launch, because this car has been a part of a lot of drag races. I think in the between 6 to 7, right? It's between 6 to 7.
Yeah, 6.8 seconds with ESP off.
that again depends on the driver. Now again,
Yeah, exactly.
most of the launches in the drag,
Yes.
99% is the driver, 1% is on the car. So the driver can even make a slow car drive fast or a fast car drive slow. So it again depends on the skills of the driver mostly, rather than people bragging about my car makes this much of power, this much of torque. But how the power is delivered, that is what counts. How are you keeping the car on the sweet spot? That's what it counts, right? If you just be a bit too aggressive with the steering, it's going to reward you, right? But then you have to be careful. It's not that you can just count on the way the steering is tuned, but also on the way you can make the car dance, right? If you have the skills to make the car dance, it can dance. Be it whatever car it is. So this has got a very direct steering, though not as agile as a BMW 1 Series. So I've drove that long time back. It's been long time since I drove the 1 Series. So this has got a pretty direct steering for a front wheel drive car, driven close to 1 lakh kilometers. Goes pretty well. Obviously the 7G shifts quickly, but then people who know about the dual clutch automatic obviously, because it activates another clutch for the odd gears and another one for the even gears, that shifts quicker. Obviously this is after me driving the A45S, I'm driving another A class, so this is quite a good car, I would say, and it also looks good from the exterior. It's a very good looking car. So plus it has these memory seats, three position memory seats for the driver, and of course the good old CD player is there, automatic air conditioning, this data model display screen, good analog dials, and of course a sunroof. It's recently loaded. The front side airbags, curtain airbags, driver and passenger airbags. Safety has been taken care of with the full channel ABS system, anti-lock brakes, and of course I like this black roof liner. It looks pretty premium. The Bluetooth mic you can see here. Of course auto dimming mirror. And also I think this is one of the vents for the backseat passengers, though traditional cars have got 2 vents. It's got one additional vent in probably the backseat, so more effective air conditioning, which is the need of the hour considering we are at 44 degrees and the climate change is there. Plus of course you can see factory green tints on the glass from the company. These are nifty features. This has a basic stereo system. It doesn't have the optional Bose or the Burmester that came on the higher end models abroad. Sounds decent. I have heard many times on the older cars that I drove, it sounds good. So I think as a package, it even has decent space up front. The back also is okay. It is crammed at the back. But then this has always been about style. It's more about the style and of course about the overall impressions that it makes from the you can see these aluminium highlights on the black headlight, the black cloth material. It's similar to my Bharat Punto that I drive. It's just similarly lined on the dashboard. Plus of course the transmission tunnel is a bit high, and I think this is the command, the basic version of the command, this command controls, so you can control the screen from here. So it is cleaned up. Electric parking brake is all cleaned up, so there is no unnecessary distraction of the gear lever. Also gear lever is placed here, automatic gear lever. You can shift the gears manually through these paddles, plus here and minus here. Plus of course you have a simple voice telephony, or the old school voice controls for the telephone, rather than those today's cars having a lot of gizmos here and there. So this is a basic car. It doesn't have too much of fancy features, but then it does the job. That is what plus the badge of the Mercedes-Benz, that is what this car is about. And obviously people who haven't driven the A45S AMG, I would say go and drive it. It's a ballistic missile, 421 horsepower from a 2-liter engine, the next gen version. It is a good car, I would say. But I would say it is a better car than the CLA. I didn't like the CLA at all. It had a very ugly looking backside, but then it was derived from this car only, the sedan version, or rather it was a 4-door coupe version of this car. So that car has frameless doors. Obviously this being a conventional hatchback, you can see this has a normal door. So the CLA has frameless doors on all the 4 doors. This is kind of more practical and much more good looking. So I guess it's a good package, and Shavi is, I'm sure, must be very happy with owning this car, since I think it's a 2014
2015.
15 model. So almost an 8 year. It's an almost an 8 years old. It's held up well also for 8 years, right? It's a good car. Thank you.
Thank you, भैया.